Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Late Nights and Party Chat podcast. My name is Justice, and I am joined by my two best friends in the world. On my right is John. John, say hello.
Hello, I'm only here for the social link increase.
And on my left is my other best friend in the whole wide world, Justin. Justin, say hello.
I'm only here for the child support.
And of okay,
Damn it.
I definitely wasn't expecting that. And yes, so as previously mentioned, my name is Justice. And before we hop into things today, there are a couple things I would like to go ahead and say and get out of the way before we hop into the meat of what we're going to be talking about today. Two big things on my part. One, I apologize for the delay in episodes. I have had a lot of things occur in my personal life very recently, and we were unable to record for about 2, I think even 3 weeks. So we're happy we're able to do this today and get an episode or two recorded. Pretty stoked about that. The second thing, I am currently unfortunately going through a breakup of about 3 years. So it is taking its toll on me, but I am very happy that I get to spend time with my friends and talk about some stuff. So it takes my mind off of that.
Before we get in, another thing before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, because we missed it. Another reason we didn't record is Justice had a birthday.
I did. I am a 23-year-old disappointment now.
I'm
a 22-year-old disappointment.
Hey now.
But
I'm not wrong.
That's why we didn't record last week when we were going to, because
We were busy getting fucked up.
two of our other friends have birthdays 4 days before Justice's birthday. So we went out to celebrate not only their birthday, but also Justice's birthday. So we did partake of some alcohol.
I should say they did. I had a single shot.
I also had a single shot.
And
I should drink more. I should have a night where I go and actually get a little plastered. I just simply have not.
we can fix that.
I don't do it very often. I don't drink.
Right, and I don't either. It's just not something I do. But I would like to. I would like to have one night where I actually do drinking instead of being the dad.
I mean, you could have drank. You could have drank that entire night.
I could have.
But
I didn't want to pay for that.
I get it, man. I get it. But yeah, so Justice had a birthday. Our buddies Tyler and Ben had birthdays. So everybody was in Omaha. We went out to a bar. We shot the shit. We played some darts. We had a good time.
It was a good time. It was a very good time.
It was fun.
We're like, this is a great time. All of our friends were here. John was like, yeah, it could have been better.
And, I just...
I really don't like those guys. The bartender had a big ass, but she kept focusing on the other guy the whole night. It was.
Can we get the elephant out of the room, please, and talk about, really quick, because I don't think he's ever going to listen to this. Can we talk about how fucked up Ben got?
Yeah, that was pretty fun. So we have one of our friends that had a birthday. His name is Ben, and Ben does not drink very often. Well, for some reason, he decided. What did he have? What was that one called?
He got an Irish car bomb.
He took 5 of these Irish car bombs back to back. No, it was only 5. It was only 5.
Only 5?
Oh yeah, it was only 5. I watched every single one.
He had one. 20 minutes later, had another. 5 to 10 minutes later, had another. And then after that third one, he had 4 and 5 within 2 minutes-ish of having the third one.
Pounded him down. And he's sitting there, fine. And then he stands up. And it all went downhill from there.
Because he's sitting there and he's like, man, I could really take these. These are really good. And I looked at him and I was like, wait until you stand up.
Wait until you stand up.
He had been taking these shots the entire time. And he was doing really good. And then he stood up and it was just downhill from there.
I gotta give him credit, though. Honestly, he took those like a champ.
You have to give me just a minute. I'm sorry, guys.
Damn, he abandoned us.
But no, Ben ended up getting a little too deep, and him not drinking definitely was one of those he was trying to adjust to it and be like, oh, I don't really like how I'm feeling right now, but I also am having a good time. A weird mix of joy and unjoy very quickly.
Yeah.
And then once we got towards the end of our night and getting to leave, he got a little worse. And he was making some very funny, interesting comments, and
Trying to hit on the bartender.
trying to hit on the bartender. It was a pretty funny time.
He told me and another friend of ours, Sam, that we shouldn't be alive.
Okay, I think you need to explain that one a little bit.
So we all play Helldivers, and Ben is very much obsessed with Helldivers. And one of the things that you can bring into Helldivers as like a support like weapon is an orbital strike. And he's drunk as hell. We're walking him to the car, trying to get him in the car. And as we're walking him to the car, he's like, the orbital strike should have killed the whole planet. He looks at my buddy Sam. He's like, you shouldn't be alive. He looks at me. He's like, and neither should you. And then he was like, but I am, because I'm cool as fuck. And then he starts stumbling to the car. And like, God, it was, I know he didn't mean anything bad by it. He definitely wasn't saying that I shouldn't be alive. But like,
that's fucking hilarious.
But yeah,
he gets to the car, and me and Tyler are standing like good 20, 30 feet away, and we hear loud as fuck, my dick hurts. It was a good time though, man. It was a good time. We got some food. We went to the bar and played some darts, listened to some music. So it was good to get out. We don't get to do that very often. We have a friend group that's, we're grown-ups. It's really hard for us to spend time together. So for us to finally meet up and get to do that, pretty cool deal.
Yeah, and we had everybody. We had the whole group.
We did. We had the whole group.
That
was pretty sick.
It was a good time.
It was a good time.
My wife wants to interject and say that she wasn't there, so the whole group wasn't there.
No, she's a problem causer.
She says you're a problem causer. She just kind of shakes her head at me.
It's true. I was there.
Nah.
Anyway,
but what are we here for? Let's get started talking before John gets back.
Right, so he has to hop in the middle of the conversation. I recently had a discussion with some coworkers. It piqued my interest and got me thinking. We were talking about the concept of death and how people think about it, how people handle it, how people prepare for it, avoid it. The whole, all-encompassing concept of death. And I was really hitting on the idea of people, how I believe people, their afterlife, is whatever they truly believe they should go to once they reach the time of death. So, for example, somebody who's Christian and they're a good, holy person, they believe they should go to heaven. So when they die, how I view it, they will go to heaven. Same concept for somebody who's Christian, but maybe they lived a bad life. They will end up going to hell, and that's how I view it. Now, me, obviously, I'm not a Christian person. I am not really a religious person in general. But if I could pick where I wanted to go, it would be one of two places. I would either go to Valhalla, or I would go to Dragon Ball Otherworld, as silly as that sounds. But that, in my mind, is my perfect concept of an afterlife. And sitting there talking about it with some friends, we branched off on that. So I want to ask you, Justin, what do you think right now, as, a 26-year-old man, where do you think you're going to go when you die?
Do you want my real answer or do you want my hopeful answer?
Let's get both.
My real answer, because I'm a somewhat spiritual person. I'm also somewhat of a paganist. If you don't know what that is, it's believing in multiple gods.
Sorry.
So my hope.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's okay.
I'm here. Danny wanted to interject.
You can't interject like that.
Paganism is the belief in multiple gods, or polytheism is the belief in multiple gods, which is, I guess, not paganism anyway. I'm polytheistic in a sense. I believe in multiple gods. My hopeful answer is that I would go to I think that it's the fields of asphodel. If you don't know your Greek mythology, I may have the name wrong, but they're like where normal people go to die, people that just lived life and they didn't do anything, super extraordinary or super terrible. There's just this endless wheat field. And you go to this place and you just kind of walk in this wheat field, and that's just kind of where your soul resides. That's my
Interesting.
hope. That's my hopeful answer. The real answer is probably nothing. I will probably just die and
Well,
cease.
I'm glad you said that, and that's something we'll get to after we ask John, because that was a large portion of the conversation we had and hit on. But John, when you die, where do you think you will go? I want both like a hopeful answer where you hope you'll go, and then like your, but this is what probably will happen.
Oh God,
It's okay if those are the same answer, also.
John's just never
I
thought about it.
don't like, honestly, like, so I when I grew up I was Catholic, and I say was, it just like, not out of anything negative, it's just I don't know anymore necessarily what I believe.
Okay.
So, like, obviously in that we're taught, like, okay, well, when you die, effectively, if you believe you're not a shithead or you ask for forgiveness, then you go to heaven. Cool.
Right.
The realistic answer I'm going to give here is that I just don't want to go somewhere bad. I'd say it's closer in line with, like, agnostic, where I'm like, I'm sure there's some higher power. There has to be. I just don't know necessarily what that higher power is.
Right. And that's fair. And that's fair. Now, to kind of jump off of that, and it was one of the concepts that we're hitting on. My friend brought up that he has, his own underlying trauma and fears and stuff that he feels that have kind of pegged him over time. And he says, truthfully, what I fear and what I think is when I die, I literally just go to a void.
Did you guys
And
hear that?
No.
No.
I'm surprised you didn't. My wife just let out the loudest fucking belch.
Okay.
You need to remove her.
I was kind of scared.
We're just over here like, all right, she's done for. She's out.
That's it.
Anyway, continue.
But he brought up that he says, I'm worried I will go to almost like an infinite void. He says, I have such an underlying fear of a lot of things. And he says, my true belief is that when I die, I'll be so scared that based off of my concept of people go where they think they should go, he thinks he's going to go into a void of just fear. There's no light, there's nothing to think about, there's nothing there, just the concept and feeling of fear.
I think that's the whole point, though, is that, like, the point of, like, why a lot of religions are the way that they are, and they try to paint, like, oh, when you die, you're going to go to this great place, is that, like, you also still have that stretch of people where the fear is just there, that, like, it's just gonna be black nothingness.
Black.
Right. Which, and I tried to explain, and this is my mindset. I said, let's say, hypothetically, that is accurate. That it is just an infinite void of black emptiness. I am not afraid of dying. I am afraid of not living a life worth being proud of before I die. If I do end up dying, and I have done things that I deem are worthy of a proud life or worthy of, being talked about, I'm not entirely concerned what comes next. Because as of right now, I'm still alive. I can't plan on the afterlife if I can't even plan on, a week from now.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of dying. And I explained this to them, and they sat there both understanding but also extremely amazed that I can be so certain on my concept of death, not being afraid of it. Now, obviously, there are certain ways I don't want to die. I don't want to die from an illness. I don't want to just slowly fade in, a hospital bed. I don't want that. But I'm not afraid of the actual concept of being dead.
It's something that, like, a lot of people don't want to think about, like, especially, like, I don't ever really bring it up in normal social situations. For one, just because my wife has, like, a very crippling fear of death. So I try to avoid that subject altogether. But
Understandable.
And no,
uh,
and it is. That's very understandable. A lot of people
my
do fear that.
my at least perspective on it is that no one can say with 100% certainty I'm nowhere near dying. You know,
Right.
like
Absolutely.
I can't spend the next 40, 50 years being like, oh, I'm nowhere close to dying, when we live in a world where you could get hit by a car, or a
We're
random plane drops on your house, or
right.
a meteorite, in the 1 in a million odds that a meteorite falls through the atmosphere and is just big enough to hit you on the head and instantly kill you. You know,
Or, when your entire not only nation but world is literally a button a click away from complete annihilation.
right.
Yep.
So like it's hard to live like I live my life that the way that I would want to. I want to live my life doing the things that I love, being with the people that I love, and not necessarily holding on to this, I think that's a problem with a lot of people, is that they hold on to this notion that I have to do things before I die, as kind of like a way to like kind of like yours, Justice, is like I have to do things in my life to prove that my life was worth living.
Well, and it's not even like to other people. It's not to hey, I want to, be known. I want my name in lights, stuff like that. It's not that. It's
Right.
I want to look at my life when I've reached the end of it. When I'm having my, flash before my eyes moment. And I want to see that more than half of it was stuff I'm proud I did.
Right, and I understand that. And I think that that sentiment is fine, but a lot of people live their life for like other people, I guess. They live
Right.
their life a certain way to prove to other people, like, hey, I mattered, or
Right.
whatever. It's never, I won't say never, but it's a lot of times it's not like, I'm doing the things I want to do so that I feel content when my time comes. It's I'm doing the things that other people would like me to do and other people think I should do because
Right.
this is what they say is going to happen. Which is
Well,
like my problem with like Christianity. One of my problems with Christianity is they're not living their life for them. They're living their life to essentially prove to something that does or does not exist, because again, we don't know, we'll never know until our time comes.
right.
But they're living their whole life trying to prove how good they are, when I think the problem is that the goalpost is always different for different people. you
Right.
know Justice's definition of a good life could be, I never murdered anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But like a soldier who did, like, a soldier who went to war and killed people, their definition of being a good person could be like, I protected my loved ones in my country. So those are two very like conflicting things. But if you were both Christian, you both believe you're going to go to heaven, right?
Right. Right.
So like, I don't like the idea that I have to live my life to prove that I was a good person. I'm going to be a good person in my life because I want to be a good person.
Right. And I should put a disclaimer out. We're not bashing any religions. We're not saying any religions or beliefs are wrong in any way, shape, or form. We are not
Definitely
saying
not.
that. What we are saying is what we believe and how we feel and what we think. And what we happen to think, or I guess I should say what I happen to think, is that it's not a concept of wanting to be a good person or some rules that have been put in place by a religion or to get the opinions of other people to deem that I am in fact, a good person. No, it is me going about my day-to-day life, making mistakes, making decisions, making choices that I truly believe to be right or wrong. And at the end of it all, thinking, yes, I did everything I could to be the person I wanted to be.
Right.
That is what I deem a good life. Doesn't exactly mean I did, amazing things. I've hurt people. I have, made bad choices. I've done drugs. I've drank. I've done things I am not proud of, but I have also done a lot of things I am proud of. And I'm making more steps and more progress towards becoming a person that I envision, becoming the person that I see that, yes, this is who I want to be. And some people don't pursue the person they want to be, they pursue the person they're told they should be.
Right.
I follow that.
And that's a concept that I don't believe I could understand. I'm good at, I can follow orders. I can do what I'm told. I can listen when asked. But I'm not gonna change my whole life, how I operate as a person, to adhere to certain commands or orders that have been put in place for years. And all for a potential end goal that might not be there.
That they think they're going to go to this like infinite void type thing because that's what they believe. I think that's kind of the case for everyone, is that your mind and your consciousness will fabricate what you think is going to be where you go. You know,
That's what I've always felt, and that's what I've always believed and will continue to. And going off of his, thought process, and I even tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, going, let's say yes, you do go to this infinite void. He was so set in it being a scary place instead of it just being, this is what it is. This is the end. I mean, to me, that doesn't sound like something terrifying, full of fear. Yes, there is a lot of things not there that I would love to actually have, or to, I would love to have light. I would love to have sound, people in this infinite void that isn't there. But it doesn't necessarily mean it is something to be afraid of. And that's something I fully, completely, 100% understand is really hard to avoid or to think about. Yes, the world is a scary place. And to make matters worse, the concept of not being a part of it is, yes, a scary thing too. But if you're currently here and you're currently living life, instead of spending so much time worrying about what comes next, why don't you worry about what you're doing right now and what would make you happy right now? So instead of taking time trying to become this amazing, picture perfect image of what everybody else thinks is all good and glorious, how about you take time to slow down, ask yourself what matters to you, and take steps to make those changes no matter how hard they may be. Because when you're done, if you spent your entire time adhering to other people, are you really happy?
you know what's always something I've thought about that I think is kind of inspirational.
Hmm.
You know, those stories of people that like, they got fired from their job, or their partner left them, or they lost all connection to their family and their loved ones, and they just like pack up a bag and they move several states away with like $20, and then they start over and they just like build this whole new better life for themselves with, out of something like adversity or whatever.
Yeah.
I always like those stories. I like the fact that, that that's something you could do. People were so built and it's so ingrained in us as Americans to you can't move without a plan. You can't move without a lot of money. You can't, you know, you can't find a new job without,
Having one
putting in
already.
time.
Right.
Right. It's so deep baked in our parents, in us, in, everybody that came before us. I think that that's just conditioning. I think that you have the ability to do whatever you want. We could all pick up tomorrow, move to different corners of the state with nothing but the money in our bank accounts and the clothes on our back,
Right.
and be fine, because so many people have done it. so many other people have done that exact same thing, and it's turned out the same, if not better, in those situations. I think that a lot of people need to just stop trusting the word of other people more than you trust yourself.
Right. No, and I agree. I think it's really easy to have somebody tell you something and then believe unequivocally that that's how it is. But it's also extremely easy to just let your mind put you in a place and be stuck there and not be able to move forward and not be able to change your thoughts. And while change is extremely difficult and sometimes hard to start up, I think what everybody needs at least one point in their life is one massive, difficult change to help them grow and understand the things they value and the things that they want. Because, again, at the end of the day, you wake up with, you go to sleep with, and you are stuck 20 all year round with yourself. If you do not like yourself for the situations you find yourself in, you are the person that can change.
Well,
You are
this
the
is like
person that has that power.
my mom always told me growing up, and I told you this yesterday. My mom has always told me this growing up, and for a long time I didn't really understand it because it's so simple, but also it carries a lot of weight. My mom always told me, you know, if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love other people? And this could be in regards to relationships, it could be in regards to just overall relationships with friends and other family members. But if you don't love yourself enough to take care of yourself, to be confident in yourself, to be 100% able to live your life without any regrets, how are you supposed to find love? How are you supposed to reciprocate love from family members or friends? How are you supposed to bring a child into this world and raise and take care of a child if at the end of the day you can't love yourself enough to take care of yourself?
Right, right, 100%. Well, and even going back to what you said about, moving and leaving everything they have behind. My pops made this comment to me multiple times. He says, it is extremely difficult to leave behind, material possessions, emotional possessions, attached people. He says, but the truth of the matter is when a person has reached a breaking point or reached a point where they truly are ready to move forward, they will leave everything they have and just go.
Well,
Nothing.
guys, in a couple years, like 2 to 3 years, we're all moving to Washington. So, just
What
be
the
ready
fuck?
for that.
When was this decided, John? When
Well,
was this decided?
A good question.
John was falling asleep over here.
That's all I'm saying. I haven't heard his voice in like a solid 10 minutes.
Hi guys,
I
I'm
think
back.
we put John in a dark. He's just sitting there, fucking staring at hands on his temple.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what to add. I just like I don't.
He's
Your
like,
voice.
yeah, people die. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, people die. I mean, is it fucked up to say? Maybe.
Nah. Danny and I are moving to Washington in a couple years, and you guys are coming with, obviously.
Say what?
I interesting.
Well, do you want to stay in Nebraska?
No, and that's fair. That's another good point that actually really can tie into the things we're talking about. It's people often think just because of certain attachments or situations they find themselves in that they're stuck where they are or they're stuck doing what they're doing. You're not stuck anywhere. This is a very big world, let alone a very big country. I understand certain situations make it hard to move forward, but there is always opportunity everywhere at all times. Anybody has the capability of moving forward.
Well, and this is a good little story that I have, and it kind of it kind of shows that if you don't grow as a person and you don't try to move forward, that you're just going to end up back in the same spot. So a friend that an old friend, we're not friends anymore. I met him in high school, and we got to talking one day, and he kind of explained to me the whole reason his family moved up here. His stepdad had been using drugs and was getting pretty heavy into drugs, and he had confessed to my friend's mom that he was having a hard time maintaining sobriety. So they literally packed up everything, packed up all their stuff one day, all the there was like 3 kids, my friend included, and the 2 parents, and they moved all the way up to my hometown. And they were there for, I want to say, like 8 months, something like that. And one day I was sick, and I didn't go to school, and I come back because I think I got sick on a Friday, and then the weekend happened, and I came back on Monday. And I get to school, and I'm like, "Where's so and so?" And all my friends kind of look at me, and they're like, "He didn't tell you?" And I was like, "No, what's going on?" And they were like, "Friday was his last day. His parents moved back to where they came from." And I was like, "What? Why?" And I didn't know, because he wouldn't, like, he was the type of person that was like, when I move, I don't want to have to say goodbye to people that I have become attached to. So I just don't talk to them anymore. Which is like really fucked up in a sense, but also I kind of like understand it, because it's hard to say goodbye to people that you care about.
I mean, like, I do get that, but that's a dick move.
That's what I'm saying. So I reconnect with him a couple years later. This was right around the time that I was going to college, and he moved back up here. We went to college together, and I asked him, when he got back, I was like, "Hey, so it's been a minute since we've had a chance to actually sit down and talk." I was like, "What happened all those years ago?" And he told me that his dad, like, he reiterated the whole thing about his stepdad and then moving up here because his stepdad had a drug problem. Well, when they moved up here, it only took him like 2 months to find a new dealer, and the problem persisted because he didn't want to change, and he started using drugs again. It started getting bad again, and my friend's mom was like, "Well, it might as well move back home, because if you're going to do drugs up here, and the whole point of us moving up here was for you to get away from drugs, then why are we even here?"
Right.
So that whole story to me just promotes this idea of like, yes, you have the ability to move, you have the ability to get away from your situation, you have the ability to change your entire life on a whim. But if you're not willing to actually make the change and make the necessary changes for your life to be better, you're going to end up in the same situation that you just left.
Right. And that's the hardest part about making a change is you could do it. Like, you could start the process, you could say you're doing a thing, you could have, a feeling or emotion or whatnot, but if you don't actually want to change, nothing changes.
John, say something.
Something.
There you go. All right. This episode's lacking a lot of John content, so
it's a good thing.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have nothing to add.
It's a good thing he leaves the next episode.
Just throw something out, John. Just anything, whatever you're thinking.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last episode of Late Nights and Party Chat podcast, because John doesn't know how to open his fucking mouth.
You told me to say what I'm thinking.
You know what?
That's,
you know what's gonna happen? Next episode that John leads, he's gonna be middle of talking, and then he's just gonna ask us a question, and we're just gonna be dead silent.
Silence.
You know what,
guys?
You guys would do that
just to fuck with you.
I like you too much.
Somebody has to.
So, John, when you enter the great beyond, what do you want? Do you want like the Islamic 72 virgins, the wheat field? Do you want Valhalla, where you're just fighting endlessly?
No.
What do you want?
I don't know.
So he missed my answer. I also gave an answer that isn't entirely like a normal one. I said personally, if I got to choose, I'm going to one of two places. I'm either going to Valhalla or I'm going to Otherworld from Dragon Ball, as silly of an answer as that sounds. Because in my mind, that is a concept of an afterlife that is warm and happy and welcoming. And in an afterlife for people who have fought in their life, not just like physically fighting, but fought for things that matter to them. That is where I would like to go.
Okay, so let
I
me
wanna
word
go
it like
to
this.
hell,
It's less
I wanna
of I
fight
don't
Janemba.
know and more I don't care.
John
And
doesn't
that's
care.
fine. That's
Right.
fine because that goes along the lines of I'm going to die one. There's no escaping that. Why worry about what comes next?
Well, John, I said this earlier. John doesn't have to worry about what comes next because John is immortal and he is never going to die.
Yeah, you and I need to have a talk. I don't think there's some things that your mom and pa told you.
What? Are you telling me that the goldfish didn't go to the farm?
Anyways.
Are you telling me that my cat that got squished under my couch didn't, just get up and walk away?
All right, Justin. So when a man and a woman love each other,
Oh God. No. I'll get into
This
the
is
cat
not
story
the
later.
scenario for a conversation like that.
Listen, when two people love each other very much, they cause a lot of bullshit and then they die. And that's it. Look
If
at Bonnie
two-
and Clyde.
If two people love each other very much, I wouldn't have to go to the kitchen to make my own supper most nights anymore.
Shut the fuck up.
if two people loved each other very much, I wouldn't be sleeping on an air mattress in my parents' basement.
If two people loved each other very much, I wouldn't have a final court date.
I feel bad.
Speaking of which,
Do I have to-
John, John, he's got to catch up.
Right? Sorry.
Happy
That's-
life. My
that's
wife
the
made
rules.
dinner the other night.
Look, the boys are going through it. You have to go through it too. Break up with your fiance.
That's fucked
Well-
up. I can't. I hate that I laughed at that. That's fucked up.
I'm sorry. Please don't.
Oh,
I'm very happy for your guys' relationship. Please don't do that.
Listen, I have so many good. I bought her something today. I'm looking at it right now. It's really cute, actually. So you both know that Danny has like an unhealthy obsession with Hello Kitty, right?
And like drugs and I mean what?
What? Who said that?
yes, she does.
So we were at GameStop because I was looking at HDMI cables. First off, I just gotta go on a small side tangent here. Why the fuck is GameStop charging $25 for a fucking 10-foot cable?
Why the
why
fuck did you go to GameStop?
I didn't buy it.
It's
I went to
problem
Walmart.
Number one.
At Walmart, you think I was gonna buy a $25 HDMI
No,
cable?
the problem isn't that you like. I don't care where you got the HDMI cable. Why was Stop One GameStop?
Why wasn't it?
What?
You're stupid.
He-
Crickets. Crickets. That's what I thought.
I'm dumbfounded that some part of you thought that that was going to work out the way you did.
Look, Justin. You could
Listen,
have gotten to
Suicide Squad at $25.
Look, bro,
I'm
you-
happy with that.
you could have gone to Best Buy, bought a cable for like $5-10, and they would have thrown in a free fridge because they're doing too much.
They doing too much. You want a whole brand new Samsung smart fridge included with the purchase of your $5 HDMI cable? Nah, so we went to GameStop and there was you guys don't know the character, but the character's name is Cinema Roll.
Okay.
And it's a Care Bear Cinema Roll. Like Cinema Roll is like wearing a onesie, and it's the pink Love-A-Lot Care Bear.
I thought you said it was Hello Kitty, not Care Bears. How did we get here?
Cinema Roll is Hello Kitty.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
the whole Hello Kitty brand is called Sanrio. So like there's a bunch of different characters that are included. It's not just Hello Kitty. So it's a Sanrio and Care Bear collaboration.
Okay.
That Pikachu's fucking horrifying.
So how does this relate though?
No, I was just saying that I bought her something and she was really happy about it. Yeah.
Is that the thing she posted on her story?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, so I bought that for her. Your mom in the background, stop.
I thought that was Danny. I'm not going to lie to you.
I don't think that was related to what we're talking about at all. It's like it was perfectly timed.
Your mom yelling at the dogs while Justice is crying in his bedroom.
Bedroom.
Stop.
I got lucky
You're
enough to lay on the
bitching.
floor.
But yeah, no, I can't relate. My relationship's going pretty well.
Lift fancy pants. Rich McGee over here. Fuck you.
You know, normally I would come back with something scathing and rude. I'm just gonna be the bigger person and say I'm sorry.
No, fuck that. Let's kill him.
Dog, you're the bigger person in most rooms you walk into.
Damn, bro.
I
hope you both lose weight so there's less of you on this planet.
You know, that didn't hurt. That didn't nearly hurt as much as the first time you said it.
It's true. But I just thought it was funny. It was a good one.
John looks like Chucky Finster if he made all the wrong life choices.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember when I let Ben have that one, bro? That was crazy. Poor guy. It's like he did not deserve that smoke.
All I see is John's little profile picture lighting up green, so I know he's just crying in the club right now. The sound just flashing.
Just sitting there. You got EDM music in the background.
I gotta go call mom.
Fucking Bangarang by Skrillex comes on the radio.
He's just sitting there doing like that Greg Heffley shuffle. He's just fucking dubs that.
Shovel. What?
The Greg Heffley shuffle.
Okay, see, I don't know if you read the books, but there's
Years
one.
ago, maybe.
I don't know why this is on my mind. Like, for some reason, this is in my mind. He has this stupid dance he did one time when he went to a school dance where he literally just took 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, and that was the entire dance. Just imagine you, packed fucking club, dubstep, doing that.
Me at any high school dance.
Basically. Basically.
Nah. I only went to 3 high school dances in my entire high school. Wow.
I never went to prom. Did you go to prom?
I went to both my proms actually.
Same.
I had to work my junior year, and I was going to go my senior year, and then COVID happened.
Fucked up is it that, like, did you ask for it off, or did you just not care to...
Well, partially I didn't care. I didn't have a date anyway, so like it wasn't as big a deal with me. Now, should I have put a little more care into it? Yes, especially because I didn't get to go my senior year, like period.
So my first year, my junior prom, I literally just like I like put on like a nice button-up shirt I had and some nice slacks, and that's what I wore to my junior prom. And then my senior prom, I actually rented a suit. It was really nice. I have this nice purple suit that I wore to my senior prom. It was really good. It was really cool.
So I actually got fitted for like an all black suit, one that looked just like the one Tom Hiddleston wore in Thor Ragnarok. Like
Yeah.
I looked pretty damn good. Didn't even get to wear it.
Damn.
Yeah, and it was pretty bummed, dude. Graduating in 2020 was like not the year to graduate.
God, imagine graduating in 2020. That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm old.
It's a bummer.
So am I. Fuck, dude. I graduated the year Harambe died.
Shit. That's the worst time to graduate.
Listen, that's when the timeline divulged or separated, whatever it is.
What if we're actually in like the best timeline? That'd be some crazy shit.
This is the best timeline. Trump and Kamala are fucking basically duking it out at this point. Our
Give me a
country's in
second.
shambles.
I'm gonna throw myself from the window.
Honestly. Anyway, fellas, we are reaching a good bit of time into.
Since he cut out, we are
What
reaching
the fuck?
like
This is
the
some bullshit.
longer length of the episodes. We're gonna go ahead and jump out for the day.
Hello?
You're
Hello.
here. You're here.
Okay.
We can hear you.
No, yes. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. Again, I want to express to everybody, in no way, shape, or form are we bashing on or negatively speaking on anybody's thoughts, beliefs, or religion. Everybody is perfectly fine with believing what and in who and what they want to. We respect those thoughts, but we also have our own thoughts, opinions that we believe in. If you don't like those, we appreciate you spending time with us, but we also ask that, maybe go somewhere else. If you don't like what we say, we're not forcing you to stay here. But people die, and the concept of death is something we'll never fully have a full understanding of. So, we ask, think about what you think comes next.
You know,
Whether that's
I'm
something
gonna
that scares you or not.
I'm gonna change my answer.
You interrupt me again, bro.
Listen,
We'll
make-
divorce
You
you.
interrupt him again, you're gonna find out real quick what's actually at the end.
Yes, I'm gonna introduce you to death's door.
well, I'm hoping that death is like the Marvel death, where it's just like a big titty goth girl, but with like a skull head. That's what I want.
That would be nice.
Any words, John?
You
already are home, you dumb
home.
fuck. You're not
Anyway,
at home.
the Casey's.
Get the camera.
Anyway, yes. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, please feel free to share your thoughts and opinions on, some of the things we said and to the death. Whether that's something that scares you or not, and whether you feel like you 100% know where you're going, maybe you don't know, maybe you don't care. Regardless, take every day, be grateful for it, and make sure no matter how hard you're making changes you believe truly benefit you and your future. My name is Justice. I'm very happy you joined us today. And again, I'm joined by my two best friends in the whole wide world, John.
Yeah, I don't know if my social link went up or not.
And of
Damn
course, my other best friend, Justin.
All right, which one of you is paying the child support payment? Because I need that money.
Well, all I'm saying is the only kid you have is with that woman in the background.
Wham.
Dude, did you hear the maliciousness in the word woman?
Yeah, I did.
Anyway,
I'm gonna
thank you.
will be the skinwalker on you.
Do it. He's so cute, though. He's so cute. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, watching, partaking, participating. We greatly appreciate you guys being a part of this with us, and look forward to the next episode. Bye.